Hi everybody, merry meet and welcome. My name is Priestess Sirona Rose. I am a priestess of the European Celtic tradition of witchcraft, and I want to talk a little bit about something I get a lot of questions about. I get a lot of questions, I get a lot of requests, and I thought maybe I should write a little something. Of course, I'm not going to. There's certain things that I cannot talk about because of tradition, but I will cover what I can. Okay? So, is magic real? Yeah. On today's social media platforms, we can see all types of people referring to themselves as witches, druids, and other magical practitioners. And sadly, many only care about the outward appearance and not truly about the magic and what that label of witch, druid, or whatever, what that actually means. It's more about the aesthetics of it. I will tell you that witches can look like anything. They can be gothic looking, or they could look like the moms you see at the soccer field in pink t-shirts and khaki pants. So there is no stereotype of how a witch looks. I will say that witches do carry, or I'll say magical practitioners do carry a certain energy that others do not. And you can pick up on that. Now, just because one likes tarot cards, crystals, herbs, candles, things like that, that does not make you a witch, or it doesn't make you a magic practitioner either. Witches, and I'm going to speak of witches because that is my path, are made from the inside out. And this process is not something that happens overnight. It is a process. With that said, one of the questions that I get asked all the time is magic real? And of course, I reply, well, yes, it is. And then the question is followed by, well, if it's real, then show me. And it seems Hollywood has got us all convinced that we're supposed to either twitch our nose or put our hand out and something magical is going to occur, something supernatural and or whatnot. But my reply to that is to look around. It's all around us. And then the dialogue usually goes on with, what? I don't see anything. And then my reply back is, if you can't see what is already around you, then how do you expect me to show you? Now, first thing I want to talk about is psyche. Psyche comes from the Greek word pushki, which is P-U-S-K-H-E, and the Latin word psyche. Now, for the Greek, it meant breath, soul, or life. And in Latin, it means the human soul, mind, or spirit. So basically, it's the totality of the human mind, the conscious and the unconscious. For many of us, we were raised Christian. So even though you may not practice Christianity now, pieces of it are still left in your psyche. And this goes for everything. The thing is, even though you may have been raised Christian, the old ways of your ancestors could have trickled down all the way to your parents. And these are in different ways that you may not even realize. These can echo to you like a resonant energy. For example, when you move out of a house, it's customary to leave the old broom in the house. You know, that broom that you used in that house, You leave the broom with the house. You don't carry it with you to the new house. Or, spilling salt. Throw some over your shoulder. Be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. And you might not like it. Those things. Now, is magic real? Yes, it very much is. And this is why I do not suggest beginners to jump right into magic and spell casting and all of that. Because as a neophyte, which is I don't like to say newbie, but as someone beginning this path, they don't truly understand the workings of magic, or energy for that matter, unless they have had other types of energy training. One of the forms of magic we see a lot of in today's world is manifestation. And that came about, I don't know, let's say 15 years ago, I think it was about right, with the introduction to the book The Secret. And I remember hearing about this. It was about 15, 16 years ago when I first heard of the book The Secret. And that was about basically focusing your energy upon something and making it manifest. So I am sure you all have seen others or even performed some type of new moon manifestation spell. I'm sure you've seen the different posts for, oh, it's a new moon, time to do your manifestation. This form of magic is referred to as lower magic, as it usually focuses upon the material, which is really basically a watered down version of magic. And what we see in the mainstream as enlightenment is more of an Eastern path teaching. Okay, that's more of the Eastern teaching, such as meditation. That is the Eastern psyche. And this is one way that they view enlightenment, which is through meditation and transcending, right? But you see, it doesn't stop there. Do you think that this enlightenment is the end of the road? That concept is what is enlightenment, what we think is enlightenment, is not the end. It's just a place on the path, a mark on the path. You see, there's more. We've talked about manifestation, such as getting what you want, getting the right parking lot. I think the way that I introduced manifestation, or the secret, I should say, to my mom was, teaching her how to get a parking spot when she goes shopping. And that is a low form of magic, as it's material, it's physical. Now, when we go further past this little stop along our path, we go to talk about ceremonial magic, where low magic is focused more on the material and the physical. Ceremonial magic focuses on the spiritual. And this is what I'm seeing a lot in our mainstream type teachings, and that of witchcraft, or what they're calling witchcraft and spell casting, because it is a form of it. It's an Eastern form of it. But the Western form of magic in the tradition that I'm taught in is one of ceremonial magic. And this has to do with the spiritual. And this goes into a deeper and broader aspect. So when I hear, you don't need a teacher, you can do this yourself, I do disagree. And of course, many come back at me with different things, but you see, they don't understand that there's more. There's more. And if you do not know how things work, if you do not understand the flow, if you do not understand how it all works together, then you cannot do that. Manifestation and that type of the Eastern type of enlightenment, the Eastern form of I'll just say, when we look at that lower level of magic, that is relatively, I don't want to say easy, but it's not in essence what the ceremonial magic is about. And again, I can't really discuss all of that because that is a part of my tradition, and there are things that I cannot disclose to the public. And reason being is that not everybody has the mind for that. It's not the fact of some secret organization, something that we're trying to keep from you. This is the occult. And the occult means hidden knowledge. And the reason that this hidden knowledge happened was because there are people who like to use it as in ways that would be destructive. Now, we all know that there's certain ones out there that were very destructive and very horrific and caused a lot of damage that were into the occult paths and the teachings. And it didn't work out that well for them. But again, it's not for everybody. The occult path is one that requires discipline. It requires focus. And laziness does not exist in it. That is why there's a lot of people who stop. They don't go any further. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I'm not trying to say that one is better than the other, because it's not. Everybody has their own path. Everybody has their own experience. We are all spiritual beings having a human experience. And that is what this is about, having a human experience. Again, it's neither good or bad. It is what it is, what it is. So, I wanted to make that that difference known, because I get people who contact me and say, hey, can you do a love spell for me? Or can you make my boyfriend stop talking to somebody? Can you make this person leave this, leave our life? And I'm like, well, okay. Are they harassing you? What's going on? Well, he keeps calling her, or they keep whatever. I'm not going to do that, because that's something a lot deeper happening than needing a spell. So there's some people who do, and that's fine. They can do that. They can work those. They can work those workings. They can cast those, and that's fine. That's them. But for me, no, because I operate more in the ceremonial magic. I operate more in that concept. Sure, do I work with lower magic? Of course, we all do. We all work with manifestation, right? We are all trying to pull that out of the other world and into the physical. That is what creation is about. That is what our creativity is about. Seeing something, feeling it, and then making it manifest into the physical. We all do that every single day. So, just understand that there's different concepts, and we have to have a respect for it, because again, magic is neither white nor black. It's the practitioner. It's the intention. And you have to understand that. When we get online, when we get into this whole occult world of magic, this, that, and the other. For someone who is brand new to this path, it can be overwhelming. It can be exciting. It can be absolutely phenomenal. But many people want to make it what they want to make it. And you can. You can. But you do have to understand how things flow. And even those that were born into families where the craft is dominant, you still have to be taught in some ways. Some things can come naturally to you, such as, reading cards, reading tea leaves, crafting, different things like that. But again, we have to learn the details. We have to have that seasoned practitioner, that crone, to take us underneath their wing and to show us how it resonates, show us how it works, to help us understand what is happening deeper. What are the roots of this? And it is not something to rush. I do not recommend anybody starting casting or working spells, doing any of that in the very beginning. I do not recommend that, because magic is real, and it can cause, if it's not done correctly, it can cause a lot of issues within your life. It can cause drama. It can cause turmoil. Whole bunch of different things. So when you see people living chaotic lives and they like to play with this, that, and the other, and they dabble, they're called dabblers. You'll see their life. You'll see how it's playing out. And you can see how that's working for them. So learn from them. It's not bad to have a mentor. It's not bad for somebody to take you under their wing. That's not bad. That's actually a smart thing to do. Because we don't know everything. We're just human. We don't know everything at all. I do not. I learn new stuff every single day. And I enjoy learning new stuff every day. But I've also accomplished a lot during my 20 years on the pagan occult path. So, I just wanted to get that out there because I felt it was something that needed to be said. I see a lot of different stuff on YouTube, on Instagram, on all the different social media pages. And I have to say that a lot of it is incorrect information. So, thank you so much for watching. I'm not really trying to come across as I know everything, because I do not. I have made many mistakes in my path, and I have learned those lessons quite hard. And I like to help others not to, follow the same path I did, to learn first and then try to go. I like to save people from the pain that I have caused myself from not knowing. But once you know better, you do better. And always remember, in magic there is a price to be paid. There always is. The goddess may not require a sacrifice, but in all of our choices and all of our doings, there is a sacrifice that is made. Just be prepared and understand that. This is not fearful. I'm not trying to invoke fear. I'm just trying to tell you truth. So, thank you again. May the goddess bless you and keep you safely within her arms. And merry part until we merry meet again.